Our mission is to enforce fair housing and fair lending laws in the state of Arkansas. But really our purpose is to create open, accessible housing for the people who live in our state.
And of course they have a mandate that these programs must be administered fairly and equitably according to the fair housing laws to ensure that our programs are available to everyone.
There's a lack of knowledge of what fair housing is and what fair lending is and how it truly does affect every single person in the state.
I think the Fair Housing Commission as it stands today is one who wants to educate and wants people to know and understand that, hey, we have the mechanisms and tools and resources to have those conversations. So let us help you, let us give you these tools and resources so your community can begin to grow and sustain that.
It's a very crucial part of what the Fair Housing Commission was created to do, and that is educate people on what their fair housing rights are and how to go about ensuring that those are available to the public.
The Four Corners Tour was kind of born out of the Commission's desire to educate the populace about fair housing and fair lending. We called it Four Corners Tour because we literally wanted to hit the four corners of the state. We wanted to make sure that folks knew what fair housing looked like, what fair housing violations looked like, but we also wanted to ascertain, the needs of each community. We had a series of focus groups where we met with policymakers, we met with housing providers, leaders in the industry, real estate professionals, those folks who were in the industry and actually provide the housing opportunities or at least facilitate those housing opportunities.
Recycling some of these old scrap lots that are not being used. I don't think the regulations are keeping people from building houses. It's just the cost of building a house. It just takes a lot of money for land and materials and labor. It's just too expensive for most people.
People that are in a financial situation or where there's a little old lady that's, whatever it is, they don't know. They come to us and they say, well, who can I talk to? And how can I find out? And there's a big gap of the knowledge that's not out there.
Home ownership builds pride. And when a community loses its pride and its self-respect and dignity, you can just see it. And by clearing these lots that's long been vacant, we hope we'll get some young folks to come in and build some homes.
And then we did a series of town hall meetings where we invited the whole public to just kind of sit down and just talk about, what are the issues in your particular communities.
I feel like we have a lot of multifamily complexes here and not enough rental houses. Some people do not want to live in those complexes. They want an opportunity to have a safe yard for their kids and to pick a school, and you just can't go everywhere.
I think a lot of the challenges that we've had with entities that have tried to come in and build something that would be affordable to low moderate income is the fact that they were focusing more on the houses, not so much on getting the people ready to be able to buy the houses.
We get a lot of applicants who are on, whatever, disability or whatever, and they, you just can't get them qualified. If they're making $600 or $700 a month and your rent's, $450, $465, and for whatever reason, they're not able to get assistance, that's it's sad.
People don't understand that they've been discriminated against a lot of times. So having that understanding, knowing what discrimination is, and knowing that they have options, I think that was an important piece of it.
With the Fair Housing Commission coming up and doing their tour, I could really see how discrimination plays a huge part in that, and not only from a race perspective, but from a gender perspective, from a familial perspective. When people don't know, then they don't have a sense of really what's happening. And I think that's one of the fundamental purposes of the Four Corners Tour.
We wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to participate and to weigh in and to tell us what their needs were and actually get the assistance that they needed to build their communities. Where you live really dictates what you're able to get out of life, I think.
Housing touches every sector of one's life. If you don't have adequate housing, then it's going to be difficult to have adequate health care, adequate education, adequate safety. So housing is the foundation for a healthy, sustainable community.
And I think people have the understanding, and the financial industry understands, that access to housing, access to quality education, economic development, all of those things really tie together. And if you make those things all occur, then you're going to be successful and it's going to be sustainable.